'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today I wanted to talk about Deadpool. The whole world's talking about Deadpool today. And I wanted to talk more about the grander scheme of what Deadpool means for not even just the MCU, but like cinema as a whole. I will touch a little bit on the movie, no spoilers of course. I think the movie is great. I think the movie is an absolute blast. If you love comic book movies, if you love the MCU, honestly, if you stuck with it, and you're here, you're rewarded. If you think it's been bad for a little while, you're being rewarded with this movie. It's an absolute treat. If you're a long-standing comic book fan, if you're a long-standing comic book movie fan, you're rewarded here. Like, little bits, nods, cameos, Easter eggs constantly thrown out this movie, and I just had a blast watching it last night. You know, I'm a fan of comic book movies. I think you guys know this. I'm a fan of different characters. I've been a long-standing fan of Hugh Jackman's run as Wolverine. 7 years ago, I thought we were saying goodbye. Today, I'm not saying goodbye. I'm saying hello to possibly a new chapter. Maybe I'm saying goodbye again. Of course, we don't know. It's handled quite well. Some people are going to complain. Some people complain about anything. Well, so what are you going to do? But I had a blast watching the movie. So much so that I bought a popcorn bucket. I never do that. It's the very first, special popcorn bucket I've ever bought. And it's awesome. It's an awesome tin bucket that I'll use for popcorn here at home. I don't buy popcorn that often at the movie theater. Mostly because I don't want to go broke because I go to the movies a lot. So that's that. So that's my thoughts on the movie, right? My quick thoughts on the movie. Of course, I have a review on Letterboxd. I'll talk about it maybe later in the future. But I think the movie's great. As a whole, though, I want to talk about the grander scheme of what this movie means. Because throughout the entire year, right, I've been seeing constant talks of movies are dying, movie theaters are dying, are they dead, are they going to come back, this and the other thing. Even though movies this year, across the board, box office-wise, I think are a little bit better than last year and then a little bit better than the year before that. So the slow growth back to where we were pre-pandemic. Movie theaters are still recovering from 2020. I think we can all understand that. Some people are still afraid to go back. I don't think necessarily because of, the fear of the disease or anything. Some people are just trained to watch movies at home now. Very much so, and I understand why. Movies come out in theaters, and a lot of the times, 3 weeks later, you can just rent them at home for $20. You and your whole family can just rent them at home. For me, as an individual, it is cheaper to go to the movies than it is to watch it at home for $20. So technically, money-wise, I can go to the theater and spend a little bit less. Some places aren't as lucky as me. Some cities are more expensive than mine. So I understand some people can't afford it as much. I get it. I'm not saying you have to go to every single movie. But I am saying that, going to the movies to see movies you want to see should never be disregarded and shouldn't be, looked down upon. A consistent thing I've seen this year, right, is go watch the movies you want to support. Go see these movies that you want to see more of, right? And that's always been my thought process. It's always been, my speaking points of, if you see a movie and you want to see it, go see it, right? If it's a sequel, it's a franchise, don't feel bad. Don't let somebody on the internet, like me, I'm not saying I may have done this, I don't remember, but someone in my kind of position look at you and say, you're wrong for seeing a franchise movie over an indie film. If you want to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, go see Deadpool and Wolverine. If you want to go see, I don't know, Maxine, which I think is still out in theaters, go watch Maxine, even though that's technically that's a sequel. So even then, it gets down to weird splitting hairs debate of well, I can't go see Maxine because it's a sequel. And honestly, I'm just sick of this whole discussion on what movies you're allowed to go support in theaters. It's stupid. Go to the theaters, period. I say that all the time. I love seeing a packed theater. I love seeing a packed lobby when I walk in. People are going to see different movies than I am. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful feeling. And I've longed for that ever since 2020. I get it in bits and bursts here and there, but I don't get it consistently like I used to. And it's a lovely feeling to walk in and see a big line to go in to see the movies. That's awesome. A whole different discussion is theater etiquette. Some people still suck at it, and that's going to happen always. I think theaters should crack down more on theater etiquette, but I think that's a discussion for another time. Back to the bigger discussion we were having, though. I love these characters. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, I was going to go see this. If this is the only movie you see all year, great. If that's the only movie you want to see all year, that's fine. Don't let anybody tell you any different. If you want to see, though, a smaller indie movie, if you see a trailer before Deadpool and Wolverine and you're like, that movie looks cool, hey, maybe go see that one too. That's my whole point. Back in early May, late April, early May, like I said, I saw a lot of videos, and I even had the idea to make one myself, talking about, is the box office dead? Are cinemas dying? What are we going to do about it? No, I don't think cinemas are dying. I think just slow growth back to where we were. I think people have to retrain their brains to go out to see movies more. Even me, for the first half of the year, I couldn't go to the movies. It was a very tough time financially, so I didn't have the excess funds to go spend money to go to the movies. Even any extra spending like that was a big no-no. I completely cut myself off from that. So I'm very happy to be back now. I'm very happy to be back talking about movies like this again. And it's a tough thing to see people that are in better financial standings like clamor to people, you have to go to the movies, you have to go see things. I'm saying that a little bit, but I'm always saying it in a way of like, if you want to, if you can go to them. There are movies that have come and gone in theaters already this year that I wish I could have gone and see. There'll always be that. There'll always be movies that slip through my cracks, and then a month or two later, I'm like, oh, I heard that movie's actually pretty good. I guess I'll watch it on streaming. This isn't a put down on streaming. Absolutely not. I think it's a great tool. And if you need to wait, or if you have a whole family that loves Deadpool and Wolverine, and you want to wait and watch it at home when it hits Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever it's going to go to, then wait. You don't have to go and spend money on a popcorn bucket if you don't want to. You don't have to go and see it if you don't want to. So I guess my whole point is, like, I'm sick of people saying the theaters are dead. Sure, Furiosa didn't do as good as I wanted it to, right? I went and saw it. I thought the movie was wonderful. Sure, there's been plenty of smaller movies that have come out this year that haven't done amazing. Like, Horizon Part 1, Part 2 got pushed back, so it didn't do that well in theaters, and it's annoying to see, like, their plans just immediately get thwarted because I hate the CEO of Warner Brothers. I can make a whole video talking about that guy any day. But my catalyst for this video wasn't just Deadpool and Wolverine, it was also Inside Out 2. Because like I was saying, for months, for at least a solid month, I'll say, constant talks about theaters are dying, why aren't people going, we need to go to the movies more. Inside Out 2 comes out, does huge numbers. And then all of a sudden, this other half of the internet shows up and was like, whoa, guys, not this movie. We can't go see that movie. People hate Disney for the different reasons. Some are valid, some are silly. And they come in and they're just furious at people for going to the movies all of a sudden. And I'm dumbfounded sitting here being like, you cannot pick and choose like this. Okay? I understand you want to say small indie movies, that's it. But people aren't going to only go see small indie movies. People want to go see movies like this. That's why they're made. And if you want to go, go. If you don't want to go, don't go. I'm sick of people saying you shouldn't be able to go. I went, I loved it. I will not say to anybody, you have to go see this movie. I won't say to any movie, even if I didn't like it. Heck, I didn't go see Inside Out 2, mostly because I know it's going to come to Disney Plus soon. Like, I'm part of the problem here. I see that in myself. So, that's fine. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can make time every time. So stop telling people what they have to be doing in terms of the movie theater. I love supporting local theaters. I do it anytime I can over going to see a multiplex if I can get away with it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I want to share that love with everybody, but I'm tired of people saying how and when people can support the theaters. Anyways, that'll about do it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching, and as always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.